Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Anger. I know I'm supposed to do a weekly show and all that, and I did another show a little bit early, but this is kind of a special emergency show. Something has happened. This is about the missing teenager, Nichole Madison Lovell. She's my niece by marriage. Um, she went missing on Wednesday night in between the hours of 12 a.m. and 7 a.m. So this is to help spread the word and get the image out of her so that people can have a better chance of recognizing her and reporting her whereabouts. Um, as before, I might let a little bit of language slip, but this is also a message out to Nichole herself. So, little kids, if you need to ask permission to watch certain things, then by all means go ask permission to do so now, and I'll give you a few seconds to do so. So skedaddle. Your time's up. Alright, Nichole Madison Lovell. Her image will be, I'll put a link down in the section below so that way people can get an image of her. And hopefully we can spread and share this and get her image out across the web and use the web for something for good for once instead of these actual arguments and debates that you see all the time. She's 14 years old. I've known her since she was in diapers. I've taken her trick or treating, and I wasn't as close to her as my girls are, but you know, it's still family. You know, no matter how close you are, family's family, and you do what you can to help family. Um, we informed our girls about this last night, and they watched the news, and it really sunk home when they watched the news, and they took off crying along with my wife. My youngest one took off crying up the stairs, and my oldest one sat on the love seat, kind of crying and numb, and my wife sat there, kind of numb herself. Me personally, I've been through this before, so I'm kind of comfortably numb in this kind of situation, which is unfortunate, but I mean, that's not the point at all. This message is in case that this is young teenage rebellion and that Nichole is aware of what's going on. And if you are watching, you are able to somehow see this. People care about you. It's evident. Strangers across the country are sending thoughts and prayers to your family, your mom. I mean, if it affected your cousins that way and your aunt that way, imagine what your mom is going through. I can only imagine. I can imagine the horrors that are going through her head right now. And it's not good. I'm hoping that this is just teenage rebellion. You took off to go see some friends, or maybe went to see a boy. Who knows? I mean, everything right now, as far as factual evidence, is all speculation. I mean, we've come across evidence ourselves, but we turn it into local police officials so that they can do with it as they may. I'm not going to divulge that information here because this is, you know, this is their arena right now, and they need to formulate and make the actual facts and opinions. But people care about you. And think about what it's doing to your mom, Nichole. If you can actually see this, think about what it's doing to your grandpa, your grandma, and your brother, who I've been on Facebook with all day yesterday. And I'll probably be on Facebook with them and on the phone with them all day today until you are found. So if this is teenage rebellion, please, please, this isn't beyond the point of repair. You know, I know this is hitting the news and hitting media, but, you know, you have a chance at redemption if this is teenage rebellion. Turn yourself in. And yes, there probably will be some consequences, but don't be scared of those. You'll live through it. You'll be fine. You can move past this, and everything will be fine. So if this is some sort of teenage rebellion, don't feel like, you know, because of all the attention that's going on, that you've gone past the point of repair. It's not to that point. As long as you return home safely, you might get a stern talking to, maybe a few lectures, but you know, you got to deal with the consequences of your actions if this is a teenage rebellion thing. Now, the other part of this is this is a kidnapping, or you're being held against your will. And if that is the case, this message is now for them. That is innocence. And in this family's book, or at least in our family's book, innocence is not something you ever mess with. Even the lowest of criminals, such as murderers, gangbangers, mobsters, they even disregard people who abuse innocence. Why do you think they keep them separated in prison? Because if they get mixed in with the general population, it's not good for you. Let's just put it that way. But as I was telling Nichole, as I will tell you, this is not to the point of past being repaired. She was returned unharmed, dropped off safely. You have a chance at redemption. You will have consequences, but take responsibility for your actions. And show that you're a decent human being. And take these hopes and prayers into consideration and this great concern that the family is going through. And take all that into account. And be a bigger person. Don't give in to it's hit the news, I'm in jeopardy, and go into the darkness of your mind. Don't do that. Because the choices that you make from here on out by taking this little girl, or being part of holding this little girl, these choices will depend on the judgment that you get. And right now, as far as we know, she's not harmed, she's not hurt. And even if she is returned harmed or hurt, yes, the consequences will be more severe, but, at least show that you can take responsibility for your actions and turn yourself in. Maybe you can gain some leniency. My daughters came up to me and they were both in tears, and they said, what if the unthinkable happens? I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to say it. And we end up at a funeral instead of... I will tell you this. I would hate to think of that possibility. And I know that possibility is going through the mother's mind. So you're causing a lot of hurt and discomfort and turmoil in a family that doesn't need it. So if it gets to that point, and I pray that it doesn't, and I pray that you seek actual intelligent thoughts and perspective on this, and do the right thing now, and face the consequences for what has happened, and everything will be okay. I hope it doesn't come to that extreme, but if it does, this family, a family bond doesn't stop. Not only will you have to look over your shoulders for the rest of your life from the law, but you'll have to look over your shoulders for the rest of your life from us. No, I'm not saying that I'm a vigilante and I'll come out here and I'll kill you. No. I will get the police to do time and proper notice of the information that we receive to get to you before we do. But, if we get to you first, I'm going to let the mother line up first and have her pound of flesh. And then I'm going to take you to the hospital after the pound of flesh is extracted and turn myself in for the aggravated assault on you. That way I can go to prison myself and convince those lowest of criminals to become friends of mine and tell them what you did. That's a game you don't want to play. And that's no life to live, looking over your shoulder and running for the rest of your life. So I implore you to listen to reason. To be a decent human being, take self-responsibility, turn yourselves in, and bring Nichole back home safely. So ladies and gentlemen, look in the description below, press on the link, ingrain that image into your mind. Let's use the internet for good for once. And Nichole, if this is teenage angst, I understand. It happens to us all. come home. Enough said. Here's hoping for your safe return, Nichole. I know you got your mother's worried sick, your grandparents are worried sick, everybody's worried sick about you. So it's causing, there's a lot of thoughts and prayers going your way. Well deserved. Here's to hoping to finding you here soon, and we'll continue to do what we do, talk to detectives and give what info we can. If anybody has any information on this, please, I'm not rich, I can't offer a reward or anything like that, but I'll offer you my eternal gratitude. And if you ever need anything within legal and human, within legal parameters and is humanly possible myself to help you out with, if you give information to the police that leads to finding her, I will be more than happy to come help you. I can at least volunteer that. So, ladies and gentlemen, please spread this, get this image ingrained into your brains, and thank you. Thank you for any help and support. Your thoughts and prayers are much appreciated. And to the mother, we'll do the best we can to help, and if you need anything, just let us know. Tammy, you're a good person, so hopefully you'll get your daughter back sooner rather than later. All right, this is Mr. Anchor.